All right, one quick story. We'll take a break, and I think we're due for a little bit of Judge Aiken.
All right. Ready.
All right, you got your gavel warmed up.
I do. Do I have my wig here somewhere? Oh, there it is. All right.
All right, after when Trump first took office a year and a half ago,
yeah,
he talked about the unmitigated migration over in the European countries, and of course that's what started the whole, well, Trump's a racist and this and that. And so now I see that Angela Merkel is over there saying we got to get this immigration shit under control.
Gee, good idea, Merkel, you fucking dumbbell.
And that Theresa May, she's kind of always been on the Trump train a little bit, but she kind of is afraid again with, oh, what are people going to say? Well,
right.
But she too is on the whole, well, we got to get this immigration shit under control.
Right.
Because it's causing problems.
Yeah, no shit.
It's exactly what Trump says. It's been causing crime, and it's causing problems, and it's a burden on the taxpayers, and all the things that he said.
Yeah.
And now everybody's falling in line going, yeah, you know what? We're being overrun here, and we can't afford all these people just influx here.
Yeah.
Well, here's a new one. The Muslim population in the UK could triple to 13 million following a record influx.
Oh, boy.
The Muslim population of the UK is set to triple in 30 years, according to projections from the Pew Research Center. Under the model, which assumes median migration levels, the number of Muslims in the country would rise from 4.1 million in 2016 to 13 million in 2050.
Meanwhile, the actual people wish that it would decrease right now to about 30 people.
Exactly. The U.S.-based think tank says that the UK has been the major destination for economic migrants coming to Europe, while Germany has been the top destination for refugees. It is said that the research followed a record influx of asylum-seeking fleeing conflicts in Syria and other predominantly Muslim countries.
Right.
The UK has one of the largest gaps in fertility rates between Muslims and non-Muslims, with Muslim women having an average of 2.9 children compared to the 1.8 by the non-Muslims. So not only are they migrating into the country, they're banging out children like rabbits.
Of course they are, because the fucking dudes tend to rape their chicks.
Yeah. This means that even if migration were to stop completely, the group's population share would rise by more than 3% in the UK, as well as in France, Italy, and Belgium.
Okay.
The paper suggests that if migration continues at the same rate but refugee movements stop, the UK will have the highest overall population of Muslims in the EU at 13 million, making up 16.7% of the population.
But that's in 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So really, it won't be that huge for at least 20 of that, don't you think?
You never know.
Well, I won't be here for it, so fuck it.
Currently, the country is behind Germany and France in overall population of Muslims. Relatively few recent immigrants to the UK, that is 60,000, were refugees, but more than 1.5 million regular migrants arrived there in recent years.
Okay.
Overall, an estimate 43% of all migrants to the UK between the mid-2010 and mid-2016 were Muslims. The study also shows that the UK has one of the lower levels of hostility toward refugees from Iraq and Syria, Just over 1 in 3 people see them as a major threat, compared to 39% in France and 42% in Spain and 60% in Poland.
How is anybody not seeing this as threatening?
Well, it's the whole, well, if I say, it's a threat, then they're going to say that I'm a racist, or I'm a xenophobe, or I'm a this. Again, people don't give their honest opinion anymore.
No, it's just
because they're afraid. You go, I think unmitigated migration into the country is a problem. I think it brings crime. I think that it brings people who are not loyal to this country. and blah blah. Oh, you're a xenophobe. You're a racist. You're a this. You're a that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it turns into.
Yeah. Well, fuck them. I'll happily just be in the shamed, I guess.
It concluded that people in countries with lower overall numbers of refugees are more likely to believe they were a threat.
Mm-hmm.
According to figures from the Oxford-based Migration Observatory, 1 in 5 non-UK born people in the UK is a Muslim.
Wow. That's scary.
It is.
1 in 5.
1 in 5.
Boy. That doesn't make walking the streets sound safe at all.
You're one of those people who think they're a threat.
Yes, I am. I 100% am. You know. Sorry that I watched the fucking Boston bombing.
You're a xenophobe.
I'm not even going to go all the way back to 9/11. I watched the Boston bombing.
Right.
I watched that fucking bus blow up on 7707 or whatever. Wasn't that 7707?
Yeah.
You know, I watched that shit. Yeah, I'm scared to death of that shit. Fuck that. Who wants to be part of that shit? Not me.
Racist.
Okay.
Xenophobe.
Yep. Got any others that you want to throw in there?
Bigot.
Bigot, thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm all of the above. If that's what it means to not want to get blown up by a fucking pressure cooker bomb, then you're damn straight that's exactly what I am. I don't give a fuck what anybody calls me. Fuck them.
Well, I'm going to try to come up with a few more words to hurl your direction.
Okay.
Make you change your behavior.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. Words.
Because you're intolerant.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And you're just not a man of the world, man.
No, I guess I'm not.
All right.
There's a man of the world, Alex Jones.
Right. How about PayPal yanking his account from him too?
Did they?
They did.
Did not know that.
PayPal won't process his orders now.
Why is he not suing somebody?
I don't know, but all of this is all based around, well, he's full of hate. He promotes hate.
There has to be a lawsuit he could file. Where's the ACLU to stand by this guy?
Well, they're not going to stand by him.
Why not? It's a fucking speech issue.
I understand, but they only stand by people that agree with their agenda.
Well, again, it just shows that they have no fucking substance at all.
Of course not. Why would they?
I just can't believe at this point he's not suing somebody. Maybe he's getting it ready to sue, but he's got to sue somebody, doesn't he?
I don't know what the rules are with private companies saying that you violated their terms of service.
I can't imagine that PayPal's terms of service involves what you say.
But that's what they said.
Yeah, I can't. PayPal, I would get if he was selling fucking, I don't know, ape paintings and calling it Michelle Obama or something. but I can't fathom. I mean, he sells fucking vitamins. Isn't that what he sells?
Well, I'm sure that he sells InfoWar stuff too. That's like InfoWar T-shirts and shit like that.
Yeah. Is his website still up?
I think so. Infowars.com.
Let me see. Haven't looked. Infowars.com. Even though I think Alex is a straight up nutcase.
Well, he is. He's a goofball.
I still think he should be more than allowed to do whatever he wants to do. It's ridiculous that people are actually thrilled that fucking that you know he's getting his shit pulled because they're next. You know.
Yeah, but it goes back. How does that old saying go? It's just like when they came for the Jews, I said nothing. When they came for the so and so, I said nothing. But then when they came for me. Yeah. Is that how that old saying goes? Something like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah. Well, I hope he sues. And, you know, I'm happy to promote Alex Jones anymore, even though I don't fucking buy all his bullshit. He's clearly right about this, that he has been targeted.
He has, absolutely.
There's no question at all that he has been targeted.
Well, he's been targeted by the Soros group because he does expose a lot of stuff. I mean, granted, I would say probably 50% of what he says is all hype.
Yeah,
but there is a shred of truth to some of the stuff he does uncover or expose.
I wonder. I would love to know how his show is actually doing now with all of the social media pulled. You think he's still doing well?
Well, I think he's doing the show, but I think he's probably lost a huge base.
Huge amount of people.
Of course.
Well, I hope he sues and wins a shit ton of money. I really do. Because, I can't even, and, maybe I'm crazy here, but I can't imagine that he couldn't go into a courtroom with just copies of fucking crazy radical shit being spewed by Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton.
Well, but you can't say anything about them because you'd be racist.
Well, what I'm saying is go into court, though. I can't believe that he couldn't go into court and say, look, here's fucking hate speech that hasn't been banned. This is unfair business practices of fucking these companies. They're targeting me specifically. I can't believe that he can't go into a courtroom and say that. And say that he's not being treated, that his civil rights are being fucking taken from him. I can't believe that he can't say that. No?
Well, again, I think their excuse or their defense, if you want to even call it a defense, is like, well, we're a private company and we have the right to service whoever we want to service.
But they don't have the right to call. If he pulls an apples to apples fucking comparison and one has been banned and the other has not been banned.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
He should, he would win. And I think in the scope, don't you think some of the crazy shit that Louis Farrakhan spews would definitely be apples to apples?
You would think.
I can't believe. I mean, obviously I'm sure he's talked to lawyers at this point. There's just got to be some way that he could sue and fucking take a shit ton of money out of these fucking big companies. He does go crazy on the Gab, though. I follow him on Gab, and boy, he posts a lot on Gab.
Well, that's about one of his last outlets.
Yeah, and they haven't pulled that down yet, but
yeah.
Gab is still out there. I'm actually thinking about investing in Gab. They're doing an investment drive, and you actually can get stock for fairly cheap, for like $250.
Well, with the way things are going, some smart person or some person with the wherewithal, they're going to come up with a Fox News, not platform, but the idea that Fox News came up with that's anti whatever CNN or MSNBC or whatever the other ones are about.
Right.
Because they do alienate a big section of the population.
It's amazing to me that like the people that own Fox News haven't built their own thing. But again, everybody's afraid. Everybody's afraid to be the one, because you will automatically, just like Gab. As soon as Gab went public, then they automatically it's fucking the place of the fucking white supremacists and the Nazis.
That's a hate site.
A hate site. It's like, yeah, okay. That's one of the reasons I chose it, was because the fucking the people were talking shit. Like, all right, fuck that. If that's the one that's getting the most heat, then that's where I want to be.
Right.
Fuck them.
PayPal has become the latest tech giant to cut off InfoWars, the conspiracy website run by the right-wing provocateur Alex Jones.
All right, now everything about that sentence, though, is fucking biased.
Of course it is.
The conspiracy theorist, the right-wing shut up.
InfoWars was informed by PayPal on Thursday night that it would have 10 business days to find a new payment processor. PayPal handles all transactions, including credit cards, for the InfoWars online store. The store has been a significant source of revenue for the company, selling vitamins and nutritional supplements, as well as InfoWar branded apparel. PayPal has also handled donations that InfoWar receives from its supporters. PayPal acted weeks after Twitter, Facebook, and other large tech companies blocked InfoWars from their services. Most of those companies said that the site violated their policies by promoting hate speech and misinformation.
See, they're going to get them with the misinformation.
Yeah. PayPal said it has made its decision not because of any policy violation, but because InfoWar promotes hate and discrimination. It runs counter to our core values of inclusion.
See, I'd be suing on that charge automatically. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter with PayPal. PayPal's not fucking distributing message. PayPal, him using PayPal is not distributing message.
Yeah.
If he's selling fucking vitamins, that's what fucking PayPal's there for.
Right.
Fuck that.
Our values are the foundation of the decision we made this week, PayPal added. The aggressive steps against InfoWars have become fodder for claims that Silicon Valley companies are biased against conservative voices. An opinion expressed by President Trump and a number of Republican officials. Jeff Sessions, the United States Attorney General, plans to meet with Republican state attorneys general next week to discuss the tech industry's competition and free speech. Mr. Jones attended a recent Senate hearing where Twitter's Jack Dorsey and Facebook's Sheryl Sandberg discussed efforts by their companies to deal with disinformation of their platforms, on their platforms, and after a separate House hearing that directly addressed Republicans' claims that Twitter was biased against conservatives, Mr. Jones tried to confront Mr. Dorsey on Mr. Dorsey's way out. After the phase-out period of 10 business days, PayPal will stop doing any business with InfoWars and its subscribers like the site Prison Planet, a PayPal spokesman said. The spokesman declined to cite any specific problems that had led to the decision, but said after extensive reviews, the company had found many instances of content that promoted hate and discriminatory intolerance against certain communities and religions.
But is it false? Is what he's saying false?
I don't know.
You know, that... I just, again, it comes back to where we are as a people these days. It's the whole, they call it hate, but it's not necessarily untrue. What is going on is hate. The actions that he's calling out are hateful. So if he's calling out actions that are hateful, how is that him being hateful versus being a journalist? It makes no sense. It just doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I fucking hate society.
Well, when you get targeted, man.
Yeah. I mean, dude, how much longer do you think we have?
I don't know. That's why, obviously you've been making moves that will kind of stave off any problems that we potentially could have.
Yep, exactly. Just sucks. It really does just suck. Think Spreaker will give you your money back when they tag us?
You know what? I think Spreaker broadcasts way worse stuff than what we have. And Spreaker is not a U.S.-based company.
True.
So that makes a difference in itself.
It does make a difference. So, yeah, because they don't pull anything down.
I don't think so.
Never pulled anything down.
Not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of.
No. YouTube, different story.
Yeah, well, YouTube is one of the tech giants. It's Google.
Yeah, YouTube's getting more and more fun to work with by the day. We had to fucking challenge another fucking copyright bullshit this week.
What, because of the what passes for rock music?
Mm-hmm.
Because we used 30 or 40 seconds worth of music?
Yeah, and we got cited. I mean, we didn't get a strike against us or anything, but we got cited in like 14 different ways. We had 14 things, and I challenged all of them. Not that it matters. I mean, it'll take a month before they fucking clear it, but I still was like, I will always dispute, because we're not doing anything wrong. You're allowed to play 30 seconds or 40 seconds of music. especially when it's not the content that we're, promoting. We're doing commentary.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. YouTube will go away at some point. I hope listeners are finding us on Gab. And I hope that you guys are going to keep up with the Gab, because eventually all of this shit is going to go away. Our Facebook is going to get shut down at some point. Our Twitter is going to get shut down at some point. And then we'll have Gab. So, be ready, because Gab is going to be where we end up, I think. Don't you?
I believe so, because all of these left-leaning, tech giants, they're slowly but surely weeding out people who have dissent.
Yep. So that's why we built it way ahead of the curve, so that we don't get totally fucked, like Alex Jones did. Alex Jones just got totally fucked from out of nowhere. So we have to, at least be careful somewhat. So, oh well, whatever.
Well, Alex Jones definitely has stirred the pot, and he's riled up some folks.
Well, I hope he. What would be great is if Alex Jones started the fucking next social media thing, and that wouldn't shock me at all if he did. He's got enough money to do it, and he could buy and build the infrastructure. The only thing he would have to find is some server in fucking Uzbekistan or somewhere.
Sure.
And then build it up and buy the bandwidth and whatever, and he'd be fine. Just can't do it on fucking stupid ass fucking Fios or whatever, Verizon or AT&T or whatever. But do you think that he might attempt that?
If he's got the wherewithal and the people, to do it, I can't imagine why he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I hope he does.
I mean, that's the way to go, really.
And boy, I'd be right up in line to fucking join the InfoWars fucking social media. I'd be all about that. That'd be great.
There will be a backlash.
I think so too.
Yeah, somebody's going to come along and they're going to establish a social media that caters to people who've been maligned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't take till everybody's lost everything, where it's a total start over for everybody. I hope it comes up sooner than later, so that people like Alex Jones going to have to start over. And he had however many hundreds of thousands of subscribers to his Twitter and Facebook and all that. You're not going to get all that back in the first month. It's going to take a couple of years to get that kind of an audience back on, especially on a new platform that nobody's used to going to.
True.
But I mean, honestly, people are going to move that way, though, because people are already jumping off of Facebook in droves now. I mean, I know you don't really follow it, but I see less and less posting from people that I know on Facebook. And I don't post, even me, I don't post hardly at all on Facebook anymore. I'm done with it. I post music that I'm listening to, and that's about it. And it's not me going to Facebook as much as I could just push a button from the player and it throws it up there.
Right.
I fuck social media. Just fucking done with that shit. I never thought I'd get to that point either, but the truth is I don't care what anybody's doing, honestly. If I care, they'll call me or they'll text me.
Right.
Give a fuck what they're doing on fucking Facebook.
Exactly. Well, before we go to break, and since we're talking about InfoWars,
yeah,
I don't know if you were aware of it, and I know that you certainly wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But the former president was in East Cleveland, of all places.
Oh, never mind. What was he doing there?
Well, he's campaigning for the midterms.
Oh, for Cordray or whoever.
Yeah, and he's, pandering to the black vote.
Oh, yeah?
But
how'd that go?
Well, the funny thing is that Millie Weaver of InfoWars fame,
yeah,
she went out to East Cleveland, and I'm sure you're aware of East Cleveland. That is like the most rundown, most dilapidated, most ghetto part of Cleveland.
It's the Gary, Indiana of Ohio.
It is. All the buildings are like collapsing and burned out and boarded up, and it's just a really, really, really poor.
It's a shitstorm.
It's a shit part of town.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, a regular white guy would not walk down the streets of East Cleveland.
Probably true.
But former President Obama was there campaigning in East Cleveland, trying to pander to the black vote.
Okay.
So Millie Weaver went out there.
Okay.
And she drives out there. Everybody in line is a guilty white guy. There's no black people in line to see Obama. None.
Really?
None.
I thought he was the hero.
No, they didn't give a shit.
Oh,
it was just a bunch of guilty white liberal Democrats out there lining up to attend this thing.
Was it as many people as like at a Trump rally?
Oh, hell no.
No?
Oh, hell no.
How many do you think were there?
1,000.
1,000? Wow.
Maybe.
And Trump does what, like 15?
No, he does like 20,000. That rally in Missouri last night,
yeah,
there was like 20,000 people indoors, and there was still like 5,000 or 8,000 outdoors.
Jeez, oh man. Do you think that the libs are really starting to worry?
Well, you know, they're relying on the media to kind of downplay everything. They make it sound as, oh, there's this blue wave, and there's, you know.
No.
But anytime you see a rally by you know, Obama had a rally in Los Angeles of all places.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's a second largest city in the U.S.
Yeah,
and he was at an arena, kind of what like Trump would be.
Okay.
And so they had it set up where they were expecting, quote unquote, thousands of people.
Okay.
I think there was like 700 people there in Los Angeles.
In L.A. There's certainly enough people there to fill a fucking.
I mean, there's millions. I don't know what the population of L.A. is, but it's millions.
Yeah, there's tons of people there.
And I think like 700 people showed up.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, they all the people were like all up front, and the whole arena's empty.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to at the midterm seeing people crying. That's what I'm looking forward to. Bunch of people. It can't be, not again.
Yeah.
Are you going to vote in the midterms?
Of course.
All right, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You might status quo it. I don't know.
All right. Let's see here.
2012 and 2008, because they weren't voting for Barack Obama anymore. And so getting him to come out on behalf of Democratic candidates is really what they're hoping will get the turnout.
However, as you can see from the line here and the traffic, many of the people who are in line and attending Barack Obama's speech are predominantly white liberals who are lining up to see their liberal, progressive, former President Barack Obama speech, and most of the locals in the area are standing around, looking around curiously as to why all of these white liberal people have suddenly come to their neighborhood.
And it's true. It's usually like driving by, and it's just like a bunch of white people just lined up down the sidewalk.
That's funny.
And all the black people who live in East Cleveland, they're just like, what the fuck are you crackers doing down here?
Right.
They had no interest in seeing Obama.
Right.
None of them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a dangerous place to be at. Even now, I wouldn't advise to come down this area. And my family was absolutely terrified to come down in this area. So it was just like a little minor ghetto field trip, if you will. It's just absolutely crazy that this may be the worst area in Cleveland that I've ever seen. I want to say in East Cleveland, it's at least 1 out of every 5 houses that are abandoned.
Sketchy side of town for Obama to hold his speech at, but I can see why he's holding it here. It's a desperate attempt from the Democrat Party to try to get the African Americans in this side of town to get out and vote. Problem is, what I can see happening is us going and interviewing people saying, that's InfoWars, a crowd forming, them screaming, yelling, accosting me over fake news that CNN and other mainstream media outlets have put out about InfoWars. So it's likely we'll get very passionate, emotional, angry reactions from most of these liberals, and that's going to draw a crowd. It'll draw some people who might want to physically attack me, and the problem is there is absolutely the most limited security that I've seen at one of these speaking events. I mean, there's really not much here. What's important to note is that we don't see a bunch of anti-Obama protesters out here harassing and heckling Obama rally goers. Whereas on the contrary, we always see anti-Trump protesters out harassing Trump rally goers at every Trump event. This could say something as to the difference between current liberals and conservatives. Whereas conservatives tend to be veering more into the realm of tolerance, liberals seem to be veering more into the realm of intolerance of intolerance.
You know, there's this thing called the paradox of tolerance. You have to be intolerant of intolerant opinions, because that will lead to more intolerance and it will destroy tolerance in the society.
What?
Exactly.
What?
It's a paradox.
Well, that's how they put it.
Intolerant of intolerant, so that you can be intolerant?
Exactly.
Nice.
Now you got it.
Perfect.
There you are. All right, well, let's play a couple of tunes and let's come back and let's knock on the door of Judge Aiken, see if we can get him out of his chambers and rule on a few of these issues.
All right.
So I'm surprised East Cleveland's not that far from you. I'm surprised you didn't just venture up there.
I'll be honest, I didn't know he was even in town.
There you go.
Didn't know, don't care. Thankfully, my YouTube is YouTube Premium, so I don't even see commercials. I could give a fuck what he's doing.
Well, the great Black Hope was in town, and you missed it.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe next time.
All right. Well, here's a song for Chris Aiken and even myself and everybody who believes or thinks the way that we do. This is some Airborne, and this is Breaking Out of Hell.
Nice.
It's Airborne exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
G'day, this is Joel from Airborne. How you doing? You're rocking out to the Classic Metal Show. Keep rocking.